Right, I think we're good. Volume down on this one.
Yeah, turn the volume right down on that one. Right. Nick, are you picking us up?
Yes, everything's been picked up. Hello, everybody. We're just sorting out the whole technical babbins and getting everything set up in order for people to receive various cameras. So just bear with us while we get that set up. We'll be right with you.
Right, I'm ready to go when you go there.
Right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to see you. Sorry about the technical issues. It's very difficult with the multi-camera operation here to get everything working well. But welcome to In the Mix Project Outdoor Live this evening. We hope families, young people will get something out of what we're going to show you this evening. We're all about introducing people to the outdoors and encouraging people to get active. And with the pandemic, everybody's been stuck inside and vegetating. So this is a really good opportunity now to think ahead, things you can do in the families, things you can do independently, but safely. So what the sort of things we're doing tonight is about doing things safely, and hopefully it will give you some ideas of things you can be getting in touch with. Can I introduce you to Phil Sherborne? And for the next few minutes, he's going to demonstrate a good, effective fire technique for cooking and bushcraft out of doors. Phil, are you in a position to start?
Yeah, I can carry on.
Okay.
Okay.
Come back to me if you need me.
Yeah, okay. Will do, John. Thank you.
See you in a second.
Okay, so folks, going to be doing a bit about fire lighting and all the aspects around that. Let's start with the first few safety aspects. Only do it where you've got permission to do it and where it's not going to catch something you don't want lighting a light. Okay. If you're going to do it outdoors, then make sure you've got it nice and contained and you've got permission and it's going to be safe. You should also have access to water. I've got a fire bucket down here and a first aid kit. Okay, it's just basic safety stuff. I'm going to be using an ultra fire. That keeps it contained. That's essentially a metal container. It's going to keep it contained. Okay, and that's going to allow me to keep it contained. If you're outdoors, you might want to clear an area. Make sure there's no scrub on it, make sure there's no dry stuff on it, maybe even surround it with large logs or stones or something like that, okay? So there are several different types of fire you can lay, okay? And they will more appropriate or less appropriate depending on what you're trying to do. The type of fire I'm going to be using here, I'm going to call it an ultra fire. But traditionally, an ultra fire would be stacked logs piled up with a platform on top, and then you'd light the fire on the platform. That's designed to allow the fire to be at a nice height to use and for cooking. What I've actually got is a more modern version of that. I've got what was half an old oil barrel, carefully cleaned out, and much used. On a stand that's been made for the purpose, and that allows me to raise it up off the ground and also keep it contained. Now, there are several different ways of laying a fire, and again, that's different purposes. Okay, so if you want a long, thin fire, maybe just keeping it contained and cooking on it, you lay it one way. If you're going for wanting a big fire to sit around to keep warm or just to socialize, then you're going to lay it differently. Okay. So I'm just going to go through a general purpose way of laying it. Now, all these different ways of laying it have different names, and the one we're going to be using today is a variation on what's called a TP fire. Okay. I'm sure it'll become clear why it's called a TP fire when you get there. So Nick, if you could spotlight the fire camera, so everybody can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to start by laying 2 logs here, one either side. And what I'm going to do is build a little platform that will just raise the fire up a little bit, just with some thin wood and some sticks that I prepared earlier. And what that does is means the air can come through the fire. It's very important the fire has plenty of gaps in it for air to come through. So if you try lighting a fire on the ground, you'll struggle to get air coming through it properly. So I use this variation so the air can come in at the bottom and go out at the top. Okay, now what I've got here is I've got various grades of wood. I prepared them earlier. And the first one I got is tinder. Your tinder needs to be very dry, and the definition is really anything that will light straight from a match. Okay. So in most environments, I prefer small twigs and little bits of wood that I can pick up off the ground, as long as they're dry and well seasoned, so they're not straight off a tree. What I'm actually using here are shavings. So I'll show you. I've taken a bit of wood, and I would say another safety thing, if you're going to use a knife, make sure you know how to use it first, okay? So I've actually shaved a bit of wood. Okay, so I've used that to make my tinder, because I didn't have any twigs available. So I'm just making up a reasonable pile of those. And this is just going to be a loose pile to start with. So there's no real structure here. There's just a loose pile, plenty of air gap in there. What I do then is this is where it starts becoming the TP form. Okay, I'll take some of my thinner bits of wood and I start stacking them in a sort of triangular formation, like the classic, slightly stereotypical Indian teepee. I should say Native American teepee. Yeah. We're talking cowboys and Indians. It's not very much like the real thing. So I'm stacking this up. So this is just building a structure that will have nicely lit. It will light quite easily from my tinder. So this next grade of wood is what I would call kindling. And basically, again, that's anything that will light from your tinder. Okay, and this TP shape just gives it the airflow it needs. Small bits. This is really dry wood, so I can go a bit thicker than I normally would. Normally I'd be looking for something a bit thinner. But this is really good dry wood, so it should just catch. So this is your basic structure, and all I'm going to do is build that up, and I'm going to slowly build that up using larger and larger pieces. So I've got these pieces, that's about the largest I'm going to go for now. Once the fire is actually going, I'm going to be wanting maybe something like that. Maybe something a bit thinner. Yeah, something a bit thinner maybe. And I'm going to layer that on bit by bit. It's important you don't just dump it all on, because then it's going to smother the fire. So for a fire, okay, let's go back to basics here. You need 3 things. fuel, air, and heat. So our heat is initially going to come from a match, and then it's going to come from the small bits of wood. Okay. The air, we've left loads of air gaps in here that will allow that to catch through. Okay. And the what did I say? Heat, air, fuel. The fuel is obviously the wood. You can't go straight to large bits because they need a higher heat to get them going. So you want small bits that will catch easily, to then use them to light larger bits and then build that up and build that up. Like I said, for this style of fire, with this ultra fire setup, I'd normally be doing that for cooking on, so I'd have a griddle ready to go on the top here. So I'd actually be building up a large fire and then letting it die down to embers. See, when you're cooking, it's easier to cook on embers than flame, because you just flame grill everything. Unless you want flame grill, you just everything burns on the outside and doesn't cook through. If you've got embers, you've got a lot of heat, and it doesn't get smoky, and it's much better for cooking. So I think I'm going to head and try and light this. Hopefully it will go. Be slightly embarrassing if it doesn't. There, got my matches. So when you strike a match, you want to hold it at the end, furthest from the lighty bit, and you strike it along the box, and hopefully, yay, it catches. And with this style of fire, I'm going to get. Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, I dropped that one, so I'm going to go with another one. Trying to talk and light at the same time. So hopefully I can get right in underneath this and light my tinder. And there it goes. There's my tinder going already. I drop the match on and just hope my tinder catches. I've got some stray bits of tinder, so I'm just going to drop those on to where it's actually lit. And I'm just going to hopefully this will catch them. Yeah, it's a little. No. Okay, one more time. If I could, sorry guys, can I have a time check? How much longer have I got to do this?
You got about 5 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Nick.
No worries.
Just make sure you let go of the matches before they burn your fingers. It's sometimes tempting to try stuffing wood on at this point, but I'm just going to let it catch. Hopefully it will burn out a bit. Very careful to keep my hand out of the way of the flame. Now, I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but the flame is up here already. It's at this height. Obviously not over on this side, but at this height.
Hi, Phil. Hello, hi.
Hi, John.
I think it's fair to say you've been in outdoor education for a while. The idea if you can always light a fire with one batch of immediately isn't always the case. It depends on how wet your wood is. Like we had a lot of rain here, didn't we, over the last half an hour? So
Yes.
sometimes things don't always go as you expect it. But would you say that the thing with a fire, you've got to have lots and lots of patience, haven't you?
Lots of patience, and don't be stingy on the amount of stuff you've got.
That's right.
Good tip I've been given about lighting fires or collecting wood for fires is collect as much as you need, or you think you need, and then go and do it again.
Absolutely. And you learn when you're doing a lot of outdoor bushcraft stuff, also to try and always keep some wood inside, so you've always got dry wood. And it's as much about the preparation of wood as it is actually lighting the fire. It's all about the preparation.
So hope this fire is starting to catch a bit now. It's getting to
That's
the
really good.
bigger bits. You can see it's the tinder is still burning, but the kindling is starting to catch now. And in fact, it's burning. It's running away. So it's important not to lose it at this point, not to let it go once you've got it burning. If you just leave it now, it's going to go out. It's going to burn itself out. And another tip is try to avoid going back down in wood sizes. Once you've got it burning a certain size of wood, don't go back down to a smaller one.
Absolutely.
Because it loses the heat. The bigger bits give out more heat, but are harder to light. So you don't want to put the heat they're giving out into just flaming away small bits.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the plan is that by the time you come back to us in about 20 minutes, we're a little bit beyond the 20 minutes, then this fire will be hopefully a nice, strong, hearty fire. So you'll be joining us back in about 20 minutes or so, and then we're going to be doing another couple of activities for you, and hopefully at the end of our evening, a little nice, warm, beautifully sun campfire. So we're really hoping the weather's going to hold out for us. Just a quick mention about our socials. Please contact us on our Facebook page, which is In the Mix Project, and also through our Instagram account, which is @In the Mix Project. We'd love to hear from you. Please tell us your stories of fun you've had in the outdoors, the times you've had cooking, the times you've been sat around fires. I've got lots of happy experiences for me when I've been outdoors doing stuff, and I'm sure you have as well. So do let us know. And we'd also like to know from you, also, if you're interested in doing outdoor stuff and haven't had an opportunity to do it before, let us know, because we might be able to link you into other organisations doing things, or even stuff that we're doing ourselves. So do get in contact. Okay, Phil. Anything else before we hand over to our friend Sam?
No, I think that's it. Thank you, John.
No problem. Well, thank you, everybody, guys. Come back with us in about 20 minutes, and hopefully we'll be able to have more stuff for you. Thank you very much. Over now to Sam Bull and Street.
Hi
Hi, Sam.
guys, I'm Sam. Hi Nick, alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Are you ready
So
to go?
today I'm gonna be doing wood-fired pizzas. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Right, so I've got flouring yeast here with some salt. So I've laid out all the toppings. I prepared a pizza earlier, which is currently cooking in the pizza oven, as you can see there. And I've got a dough base, which so what you do, you get 100 ml of water, which you mix in with the flour. and you use a fork to form the dough initially. I've washed my hands prior to this, so just make sure you're washing your hands if you're doing this at home. Then you've got to ensure you get all the dough from around the bow. And then what I tend to do is I get a chopping board and I start to knead the dough, and you've got to ensure the chopping board's well floured so it doesn't, the pizza dough doesn't stick to the chopping board. Get a bit of flour. And then what I tend to do is, you can use a rolling pin, but I tend to hand stretch the pizzas. So I tend to knead it and stretch it at the same time. And you can also thread it through like your fingers like that, so it like stretches from the weight of the dough. So I've then got a selection up with the tomato sauce that I butter, like if you prefer a garlic base, or barbecue sauce if you want like a meat feast barbecue pizza. So I spread some tomato on. Like that. I then like to use a good amount of cheese. Then I put some buffalo mozzarella here. Nicely on the pizza. Then I'll use some, you can use so here, and some pepperoni. And a couple of pepperoni slices. I'll use some mushrooms. Right, that's that one created. How's this one doing in here? I'm going to show you. It's getting there slowly. You've got to ensure that the pizza doesn't stick on the bottom, because it tends to burn on the bottom and not cook on top. So you've just got to ensure that it's just check the base and ensure that it's cooking and the toppings are melting nicely on top, which this looks like it is, as you can see there. And I've made sure that I floured the stone before putting the pizza on. So you can use whatever toppings you enjoy to eat on pizza. That's why I enjoy creating my own. And the wood like fired like way to cook pizzas is a really good tasting way, because you get like the authentic pizza taste, and it's how they like did it back in the olden days. And Nick's got some pictures which he's going to show you now of how you can create pizza oven at home, and there's a lot of different website links. If you go on Google and search how to create a pizza oven, there's loads of different websites which take you through a step-by-step guide. So Nick, if you could put on those pictures now, just to show people how you like the different stages of making pizza ovens, that would be great. So how's this one doing? It's getting there now. The cheese is starting to melt. So I'll start to do the toppings.
There you go.
So as you can see here, there's a lot of different ways that you can create pizza ovens from the pictures that Nick just showed you. You can create them out of clay, you can create them out of bricks, and the one that I've got is like a clay terracotta pizza oven. Which there's one that you can create yourself at home. You can make them in about, I'd say you can make them in a day, once you've got all the different parts that you need. So you really need like bricks, like big wooden blocks, as you can see there, and like clay and terracotta to make the pizza oven, and the like chimney there just lets the smoke out so it doesn't all come out the like entrance of the pizza oven. That one's not got a chimney because it's got a massive entrance to the pizza oven, so this smoke can come out. The benefit of not having a chimney means that the pizza doesn't, like the heat stays in the pizza oven a lot better, which helps when to get the toppings to melt on top. So I'm gonna now do another pizza here. So this one I'll do like ham. So this one I'm going to do cheese, some ham. And then you can finish off with, I've got a basil plant here, so you can finish off with some basil leaves. Right, should we check that one? Yeah, that's nearly done, as you can see.
Yes, we can see it cooking, Sam. That's lovely.
Yeah, it's just tipping it down with rain now as well, unfortunately. So you get lots of, like, the main place where pizzas originated was Italy. And in Italy, they, in Venice, they, just a fact for you, in Venice, they don't use wood-fired pizzas, and that's due to the Venice being built on water. So they tend to use like hot, like they've got stone baked ovens which they use for their pizzas. I think this one's nearly ready. If you I'll just get that. Yeah, so that's nearly ready, and as you can see, the base, you've just got to keep an eye on the base, but that looks done. I'm going to put on another one now. We'll add some basil to this one as well. I don't know how. Yeah, no. Oh. 2 seconds because the toppings look like they're about to.
Hi, Sam. Really impressed with what you're doing there.
Yeah, that's
looking
good.
really, really good. I'm interested, how did you decide what sort of pizzas to go for?
So we just got so I got a selection of toppings because everyone has different tastes with pizzas. So
Right.
I'm just going to put this one on now.
Right, it looks really good, and I really think, and I mean, I'm okay. I've seemed to have a bit of a mission on this, but I think proper Italian pizzas are all about quality ingredients. Would you agree?
Not going very well, is it?
Hello, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, John.
Yeah.
And they also use like plenty. When I went to Italy back in February, they always use like plenty of cheese and plenty of different.
Yeah. And they're quite moist, aren't they? Not too thick. Yeah. Yeah.
On up now. See here from the base.
How are you doing? Are you going to show us a plate of what you've done? Oh,
Yeah, it's here.
okay.
So as you can see there, the base is still like it's like well crisp base, and then it's just like melted the toppings on top. So I'm gonna just try a bit now.
Okay, cool. But I mean, it's a really good thing, and I know there's lots of young people have been watching some of these sessions, and they look up and say, "Oh, I get granddad or grandmum," or this is a really good activity for young people to have a go themselves, because I think, and I may be unpopular here, but I think a good youth worker with young people will offer different opportunities. And you know, what a good opportunity to get some really good quality ingredients and have a go at making pizzas from scratch, rather than just going to the shop and buying them.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay. Are you done, Sam, or have you got any more? Got some summing up to do?
Yeah, so it's just to sum up that it's really good to create your own pizzas from like from flour and yeast and salt, and then you can all use like fresh ingredients and ensure that what you're putting on the pizzas, and
Absolutely.
it's not processed.
Yeah.
And they taste a lot better as well.
Yeah.
And then like if you can create a wood-fired pizza oven like this one, it just cooks them really well.
Looks an impressive piece of kit. And actually taking that into a camping situation to link everything with what we're doing tonight in terms of fire lighting, you can cook anything on a wood fire. Honestly, there are techniques to doing it, but you can create ovens. You can create ovens on a wood fire. You really can. And you know, I hope there's some young people watching this tonight who will be a bit inspired by that and have a go at doing that themselves, Sam.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think of it, Emily?
Oh, it's lovely.
It looks lovely, Emily. It looks really nice. Hello, Emily, by the way. Hi, Emily. Right, well, thank you very much, Sam. I mean, perhaps you could quickly do just a quick sum up to allow me to get into my next activity and then hand to us, yeah? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Give us a couple of minutes. Thank you very much, Sam.
That's all right. So yeah, just to sum up, guys, it's just really tasty to create your own pizzas from scratch at home, and it doesn't it's quite a cheap activity to make because all you and then like the topping ingredients, whatever your personal preferences are. As you can see here that I've selected 2 types of cheeses, some peppers, some chilies, and like some ham, salami, and chorizo. And then you can have some fresh basil for the toppings as well. You've just got to ensure that you use plenty of flour to stop the bottom sticking on the pizzas. And it's just really good to not always have like a lot of processed foods like pizzas that when you can just as easily make them from scratch yourselves. So now I'm going to hand back to John and Phil for the bracelet making session.
That's really great, Sam. I will hand everybody over now. Well, thank you very much for your video on pizzas.
Cheers, Nick.
Right. Hello. Hi. Welcome to our indoor tent. You've just come about 40 miles, or 25 miles from Street to Wibeliscombe. And I have to say here, whilst it is really wet outside for in a camping situation, of course, you've got lots of dining shelters and all the rest. But as we're trying to teach as well, it makes sense to come inside. So welcome back to Wibeliscombe. And a reminder that you can contact us on our Facebook page and also on our Instagram site. Please do say hi, tell us who you are, where you come from, and any pictures, anything you've got of things you've done in the outdoors. We're really, really interested in seeing what you've been able to put together, what you've got in your experience. Right, hello Phil, welcome back. Welcome back. And you're going to try and teach this old man something.
Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit about paracord bracelets. So I've put one on here.
Oh, very nice.
Now this one is sort of designed as a style one with the buckle.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got a few little bits: compass, survival whistle, flint steel, blade for cutting string.
Right.
One of the reasons these are popular for outdoorsy types and people who might get into sticky situations is, even though this is just wrapped around my wrist really quite comfortably, it's firstly just in itself, I think it's about 6 feet of paracord.
Goodness me.
And
that's quite a lot.
Because of the structure of paracord, you won't see this on camera, it's too small. There's individual strands in there that you can pull out.
Right.
So you've got, I think it's 7 strands per piece of cord.
Right.
In this size. So that's really useful, and it's really strong as well because it's designed for holding parachutes. That's where it comes. The term
I see. I was gonna ask that very obvious question.
Okay, so it can be quite easily made into bracelets. It's a very popular one.
Okay.
I've got a few other things
very
here
interesting.
that variations of bracelet, lanyards, keychains. That's just a little thing I did to practice, but shows a sort of thing you can do with it.
So to get these materials, where'd you get them?
Online. You can go online, and there are starter kits you can get that will have a few odds of paracord in and a few buckles, and then it's just, if you start getting into it, it's buying individual bits of paracord and whatever fittings you want to put on them. It's just, online is the best way to do it. Hobby shops and generalised your Amazons. Okay, so John, we're going to be making a bracelet.
Yeah,
this one. So there's your buckle. First job is to decide what colour paracord you want.
Well, I think I should do the colours in the mix projects colours.
Well, it's one colour, John. Sorry.
Well, it's going to have to be orange, isn't it? I think it should be, really.
Sorry, I'm going to have to come in front of the camera again.
Yeah, that's fine.
Technicals. All right, so you're going to go for orange.
Yep.
Okay, so if you pull out the orange, you have the orange. Next thing we've got to do is we've got to decide how much you need. Now, I'm going to annoy the young people in the audience because I'm going to do this imperial, not metric, for a very simple reason. For every inch of bracelet you want a foot of paracord. Okay. So if you do want to do it in metric, it's 12 times. So we're going to measure John's wrist. Yeah, I'm not touching him. Try and keep it nice and simple. So we'll come up with an 8-inch wrist.
Right.
So we're going to need to measure 8 feet of
Goodness me.
Cord. It doesn't have to be exact. You'll have a lot slopped over in the end. For those of you who want it metric, that's back 20 centimeters. So
Lost me already. I never do.
yeah, I'm normally a metric guy, but
Ironically, when I was at primary school,
massive
I learned both because I was in that year where it all changed. And
in other words, you're old.
I am, yeah, I am. I mean, 70. When was it? Metric? 71, 72, was it?
So,
Something like that. When it was all changed. I remember the Abbots on telly just about.
So just to make it easier, I've measured out 1 foot and then I've tripled it up to make 3. Oh, I should have quadrupled it up to make 4, shouldn't I, to make 8. Do it again. Double it up, make 2. Double that again, make 4. Double that again, make 8. That's lovely. And I need to unlock this a bit more. Tighten it up.
Would you say you're quite creative, Phil? Yeah.
I can be in certain specialist ways. Like this. Right.
Well,
So
I am, but probably
next
not,
thing
yeah.
I'm going to need is
Crafts.
a pair of scissors. Okay, and I'm going to cut the ends. Okay, I'm just going to hold them there for now.
Right.
Now, because of the nature of this rope, to stop it, because there's a core of those 7 strands with an outer wrapped around it, to stop them splaying out, what I'm going to do is smelt it. So you can do that with a lighter. Okay, younger people, parental permission,
Absolutely.
supervision time.
Totally.
I've had some success with these, although this one's got a bit down, so probably won't work now. These are the gas lighter, so it's basically you still got a lighter, but it's a bit further away from your hand, which is quite handy. But we're also going to use a candle, which I'm going to light with this lighter.
You told me how many candles.
I've got 1 candle job for this.
We had a debate, viewers, about candles earlier about weather conditions.
So I'm just going to melt the ends
About using
just enough to make them soft, and then I can use the flat scissors and onto a flat metal surface, something that isn't going to burn. I've just sealed that up, and I'm going to do the same with this end here. Okay, and I'm going to give John that.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to just quickly cut myself one as well. So, John, while I'm cutting myself one, what you're going to want to do is find the middle.
Find the middle.
So that's quite
just
simple.
loop it through, yeah.
Yeah. No. Just find it. Just physically find the middle.
Right, yeah, well, that's possible to do by doing that and that.
Yeah. So yeah, for those of you playing along at home, that's just fold it in half and then find where it goes to the middle.
That's roughly the middle there. There you have it. It's a nice chord. Very nice chord.
It is very nice to work with. That's why
very visual chord, very strong.
Yeah, that's why these crafty things get built, and it's like I said, for the survival aspects, great. Also for the crafty aspects, it's really nice to work with. So I'm just gonna flash that in the flame. Light it that way. Okay. So I've found the middle of this one, and what we're going to do is we're going to feed the middle through part of the buckle. So that might be a bit fiddly.
Does it matter which side of the buckle?
No.
I see what you mean.
It might be easier to feed one end and then find the middle again.
Yeah, something good.
But you don't want the middle to go right through. I'll show you. If you you might find it easier to do it this way. Put both ends through and then pull it
from the other end.
Yeah. So if you see what I've done, I've got here's my middle. Well, that's not my middle anymore. But I've put both ends through. So put them through individually is probably the easier way, and then we find the middle.
Okay, I'll try this one.
Okay. So, yeah, put both ends through.
It's because it's just a bit of a dodgy ending.
Yeah, if you heat it and then squish it flat, sometimes work.
Yeah, you just I just do wonders to my.
Yeah, it's a bit of a artistry of this. Ooh,
sorry,
it's the end. push it down, repeat it up again, and then smash it down. There you go, you've got a bit of a point on
Thank
it.
you very
now.
much. Lovely.
How you
Just
feel
let
it
it go through there.
Mm.
There we go.
So yeah, I've
And then
got
pull that tight and then like
yeah.
that.
Then,
This was-
so yeah, don't let the end go through. Oh, good, you've just about saved it.
Okay.
Hold that.
Oh, right, I see what you mean. Yep.
Okay. So now, if you know your knots, John, Lark said,
No, I can't remember that.
put the ends through the loop.
Right.
Okay, and then
So-
pull that tight.
Like that one.
Yeah, put both ends through the loop. That's it.
And then pull that.
Pull
Yeah.
that tight. So it just make them. Don't undo that. It just makes a knot around
All right.
the end of the. So that's just our starting point.
Excellent.
Now, okay, it's going to get a bit tricky now. Okay. So now take the other end of your buckle. You can do. You're probably better if you undo the buckle and then use the other end separately. Okay. First thing we've got to do is make sure we get this the right way up. Okay. So you can see your these buckles are easy because they've got the compass on the top, okay, and the knife on the top of the other bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you want to do is make sure that you keep that the right way up. Okay. So I've now got the top in this hand and I'm coming along the cord.
End slightly adrift.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's not a problem because, like I said, there'll be plenty of slot. Now, so I've worked that all the way down the cord, and I now know that's the right way up. Okay, so it's the same way up, and I'm going to put the ends through the buckle again.
The other end, like that, in that side there.
Yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Does it matter? So that way up, like that, and then that way, or that way?
Whichever way it fits with. Yeah, with the way you've got your buckle up,
Right.
it's
So it's going to be that
with the
way,
compass facing you, John. Yeah. So that, yeah, you just want them to end up the same way up, as it were. That's slightly tricky, and the next bit's slightly tricky.
So we just need to keep an eye on the time.
Well, as long as we get
Plenty of
one
time
of the
left,
things
guys.
with
Just to let you know,
is
don't panic on the time.
the one of the things with this craft is it's you do the same. Once you start, you just repeat it. So as long as people get the idea of the start.
So pull it through, Phil.
Yeah, so pull it right through, and this is the point where you're going to want to sort of get a bit fiddly and wrap it around your wrist again.
Right, this is a bit doodah here, so I got that twisted.
Right, so if you put your buckle back together, this is where we can prove that it's going to. You can.
Oh right, I see.
Yeah. So we're just going to fit it now, okay? Yeah, probably easiest if I do this.
Oh, I see. Around the wrist.
Yeah, so if you put it around your
Right,
wrist,
let's just roll this up a minute.
Yeah.
Right then.
and
Okay,
then you just sort of want to mark that point. Now this is where it gets fiddly because you want to keep that point, but take the thing off. Okay, so if you just hold it like in your fingers anyway, it will work. You give yourself a little
take
bit.
the buckle off, yeah.
Yeah, undo the buckle. Yeah, and just hold that together. Okay, so you want that buckle to stay where it was. Okay.
That buckle there, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so just pin that. If you use your fingers to pin that to the buckle, pin the cord to the buckle.
Okay,
So just hold. So just hold it so it's not going to move.
Okay, well
Right.
like that, you mean?
Yeah, because you're now marking the length. You've fitted
okay.
it for length. Right now, this is the first part is the tricky part. So I'll do this for John and then I'll turn it around for the camera, I think. So take one side of your loose end, okay,
It's like blue pizza, this, isn't it?
and cross it across the top of the two middle bits. So this middle bit that's connecting the two buckles is going to be a core. Okay, so you're going to cross it across there, and then the other bit you're going to wrap it over that first one, around the back, and then bring it up through the bite you just made.
Right. This is where I'm going to lose it. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So right, you're going to have to show me, Phil. I'm afraid.
Right, so, right, I'm going to have to do
Sorry.
yeah. So you do it one way and then you do it the other. So I'm doing it the other way around this time. So it doesn't matter which way you start. So with the two buckles, like sort of in that configuration, cross it across. So the cord is going from one side straight across the core, and then out to the other
Is it
side.
a bit like a clovage in some respects?
No, it's a bit like a half hitch.
A half hitch, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Then this second piece is
Yeah.
going to go downwards, so it's going along the core.
Yeah.
Then backwards underneath the core, and then the end comes up and through the bite you've just made. Can you try that, John?
Probably not, though. I'll be honest. I wouldn't have a clue. I'll be honest.
All right, I'll carry on. We'll do it for the viewers. Okay.
It'll take me quite a while to work that out.
Yeah, once you get the first one,
I will have
so
a go.
it's if you try.
Keep the ending.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just not worry about the length and just
I'll go.
do the knot, so you want your two loose ends pointing in the same direction as your core. Okay, so turn them towards me, or turn the core, flip them over.
That way.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right,
To our wonderful presenters, this is your 10-minute warning.
10 minutes.
10 minutes was that?
Well, I was focused on getting that one done, and I'll.
So yeah, it's just repeating the same thing over and over.
What we do, ladies and gentlemen,
This is the studio. This is your
I'll show you my
10-minute
completed one
warning
next time we
from the
meet.
studio.
You can show that
It's
completed
just
mine.
yeah, so it's just important to you do one from the left and then you do one from the right,
Show me the limit.
and then it all completes.
I never
what-
could knit. We had members of our YouTube who could knit.
Once you finished it, once you finish the knotting,
It's very
You-
impressive. It's
you
very hard.
weave it back on itself, you tuck it in under itself,
Yeah.
and then seal it again, and then
Yeah.
when you melt it, you press it down onto
Yeah.
itself so it sticks. If I show you on this completed one. Well, actually, this one's just woven back, but it could be stuck down. So I've pushed it under itself and then sealed it down so it's sealed together. And yeah, that's that simple. There's simple variations you can do to make it different. So this one here is all I've done is I've melted the end of two pieces, stuck them together, and then that's the middle of the cord. So then you get a two-color effect. And in fact, these are quite nice because they're reversible, as long as you get a reversible clip on it. So you can see I've got red in the middle and blue on the outside, or I got the other way around.
Very good.
Yeah. How are we doing for time, guys?
Not to forget my phone.
You've got
5
about
minutes
another
to-
5 minutes. This is the studio
Lovely.
calling. You have
Well, it's
5
extremely wet
minutes.
outside, Phil. So we're going to need to.
That is
So
the
we're going to show
joy of
you,
the great outdoors,
In a
everybody.
minute, everybody, we're going to show you, just to let you know what's going to happen in a minute, we are going to show you our fire. So you'll be able to see, even with this really bad weather, how the fire has developed. And then we're going to entertain you with some ideas around the campfire. Now, we may not be able to do everything outside, but we will give it a go. We will give it a go. I'm really impressed by this, Phil. It's very, very artistic. Lovely to wear, especially when you're on holiday. It's really nice. Good braiding around hats as well.
Yeah, you can turn
Lots
it
of creative ideas. Yeah, well, very good. So why don't you show the viewers where you made some of these then? Were these all done at various residentials, outdoor events, or
these
something you're doing at home?
just something I picked up and done it as a hobby at home. So if I show you some of the things that we make, this just make a ring out of it. So there's no buckle in this, just a variation on the idea. Scouters will recognise that as a woggle.
Yeah, I was going to say Turk's head woggle, yeah.
Well, it's not Turk's head.
That's
but
not
yeah.
Turk's head, but similar sort of.
It's exactly the same
Yeah,
pattern as
yeah.
the bracelets. So it's the same idea. But you can make anything you need a ring for, napkin rings, things like that.
So if any of you out there, these are things that we can do as an organisation in the future, but there's also organisations who do these things as part of the family, and we will be posting details. One thing we didn't say earlier, Phil, we will be posting details of how to make these bracelets. What's the official term for it?
Paracord braces.
So there will be an opportunity for you to have a look online to see how you actually go about this. I mean, Phil's showing us now within 20 minutes, but you know, by all means, have a look at our information. I'm going to post online afterwards. All right.
Yeah, just got there.
Very good.
I'll just show you this one as well. That's exactly the same plat, except instead of going left and then right, you just go one way each time. So you go from the right each time or from the left each time, and it just makes a completely different thing. Improvised bucket handle. I've seen these. I mean, I've made this into a keychain type object, but yeah. So as a handle for something, or just as a decorative object.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Phil. That's really interesting, and I certainly, you know, if I didn't complete mine, I will be completing mine, and I will show everybody when I've actually completed that next time with me. Okay, so shall we carry on to the next item then? Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to show you our campfire outside, and we'll see what state it is in after 40 minutes of rain and rain. See you outside.
Campfires burning, draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry. Campfires burning, draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry. Campfires burning, campfires burning, campfires burning, campfires burning. Campfires burning, campfires burning, campfires burning, campfires burning. Draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry. Campfires burning, draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry. Campfires burning, draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry. Campfires burning, 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 campfires burning. Draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry. Campfires burning, draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry. Amen. 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 All together now. Amen. 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 What's the bother you? Amen. Louder. Amen. 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 All together now. Amen. Make it louder. Amen. Louder. Amen. 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 We are birds of the from the tower.
Right, Nick. Thank you. Right. Are we here now? Right. Okay. Lovely. Well, a campfire. I was muted a minute ago, so you may not have heard me say, but a campfire is not just what we do with Scouts and Guides. Okay, it is something that the family can come together, sit in the garden, get some songs out, get the guitar out, and play around and enjoy yourselves. It happens to be something that uniformed organisations tend to have as part of their residentials and camps away, because it's a way of bringing everybody together. But and it's nice to be able to have something like that where you can all come together at the end of the day. Phil, do you just quickly want to just talk about the fire a little bit before we move on?
Yeah.
And where it's developed from?
Yeah. So what you didn't see while we were indoors, or while we were setting up for the paracord session, is I put some larger logs on. Well, I put some larger chunks of wood on first, and then once they got going, which happened very rapidly, I put some larger bits on that were happy to sit out here. They just burnt down, and they went down to red glowing embers, okay, which would be great for cooking on.
Just going to say that. Just it's now getting ideal for cooking on now.
Yeah, but yeah, since we
Yeah.
come back out, I've lumped some more
Yeah.
wood back on just to get a nice flame going. So that's always nice for
Sure.
campfire to sit around and sing around. Get
So
the-
imagine it's dark. Imagine the moon is out. Imagine that you can see the stars. Imagine we've got a nice glow around us, and we're going to try to entertain you for a few minutes, and hopefully, please join in. Okay, please give. I want you all at home, if you know these little tunes, join in with us. All right. Don't worry, it's not going to be for an hour. It's going to be just for a few minutes. So cue the music, Mr. Maestro. There's no wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, but the sun in my eyes. Especially for me. hope that wasn't too bad because it's very difficult listening to the volume out here on an iPhone. But there we go. I hope you at least enjoyed that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a big thank you for our first live outdoor session. So we're learning, and I hope you'll join us again. And from a great thank you to our colleague Nick Harvey, who's in Wellington, keep an eye on all of this. And thank you very much to Sam in Street for pizza cooking. And thank you once again for Phil for a practical lesson in bracelets. And we hope to bring you a lot more of this. And look out on our YouTube channel as well for little bites of bits of information. And also look out for what we're doing as an organisation over the next year. We'd like to finish tonight with a little bit more singing, but also to leave the session on a really happy note. We're going to now play a couple of songs to you, and please point if you know the songs as well. But there's a little bit of video going with it as well. So thank you very much, everybody. See you soon.
So this is over to me, and I'm just getting this ready. It's not there. Apologies.
So it comes.
Let our love shine a light corner of our world.
Shine a light every corner of my dream. Let the love light carry, let the love light carry, let the mighty river flowing from the stream. Let our love shine a light every corner of my dream. And we're all gonna shine a light together.
One, two, three, four.
Here we go, hold on. Everyone lean in. Hold on.
Down at an English fair, one evening I was there, when I heard a showman shouting underneath the flare. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are, standing in the hill. Big ones, small ones, some to share. Give them a twist off like a wrist and told the showman said, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Every ball you throw will make me rich. There stands me wife, the idol of me life, singing rarely bear a ball a penny a pitch. Singing rarely bear a ball a penny a pitch. Singing rarely bear a ball a penny a pitch. Roll the ball, sing and roll the ball, a penny a I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
They're lovely.
There they are, standing in a row.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Big ones, small ones, some as big as your head.
And bigger.
Give them a twist, a flick of the wrist, that's what the showman said.
Now that I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, every ball you throw will make me rich.
Have a banana. there stands me wife, the idol of me life, singing roly poly ball a penny a pitch. All together now. Roll a penny a pitch. Harmony. Sing roll a penny a pitch. Roly poly ball. Roll a ball. Sing and roll a ball a penny a pitch. Sing and roll a ball a penny a pitch.
So thank you very much this evening for being part of our outdoor education show. And good night, everybody. See you all very, very, very soon.
So that's it from us. Sam as well.
I hope everyone's enjoyed it tonight.
It's been great fun. Thank you, Sam.
That's okay, John.
And well done, everybody. Thank you very much. And catch you at the next session. Look us out for details on our social media. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.